Square One DSM is an initiative of the Greater Des Moines Partnership that mentors, connects, and enhances the potential for success for entrepreneurs in Greater Des Moines.
I'd like to introduce Bill Bernardo, for those of you who don't know Bill, with WINPRO products, and I almost didn't say WINPRO, I apologize. I met Bill about 4 years ago, and he was just at the concept stage, and now look at you now. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time today asking some questions, do some Q&A, and then open up to the audience, so please have your questions ready to go. What he sounds pretty interesting, and covers a lot of, everything from what he knew about intellectual property to, well, we'll get it all.
Okay.
So, give people your background real quick before we get into WINPRO. Tell me.
Okay, well, I grew up in the big company food world. I worked for Hormel. I was the head of marketing at Johnsonville. I worked for Sara Lee Meats. I was a new product consultant for about 13 years. I then became the first president of the consumer products division over at APC in Ankeny, and that's where I discovered the magic of blood proteins, bioactive functional proteins, and what they can do for animals. I headed that up for about 4 years, and we were focused primarily on livestock and horses. I was a dog lover, still I'm a dog lover. My lovely wife and I have 4 dogs, and they're our life. And I decided to go out and do what I could for the dog, and I saw what these proteins can do for the big animals. They work even better in dogs, so we're really excited about what we're doing, our mission, and so far so good.
So let's get into it. So, what did you just say?
Yeah, sorry, I have terminology.
I can do that too if we start talking about wireless radios. I can do that acronym, fly edge.
I said bioactive functional protein, and that's a fancy phrase for it. Simply, they're highly functional proteins. They work from the gut of the animal, and they create biological effect in the animal. And in the dog, what we're really going after, our enemy is inflammation. And inflammation in dogs and people and horses, it all comes from stress. On a dog at any given time, there are up to 16 stressors. Things like change of feed, new dogs, travel, competition, pathogens, things they eat that they shouldn't eat. There's a lot of stress working on dogs, and in that chain, the inflammation is the second step, and that's what gets a little scary, because that inflammation, if left unchecked, can create a lot of outcomes that could end up with you in the vet, with your dog. Vets do a great job. The art goal is to try to head those things off before you have to go to the vet.
So kind of like preventive medicine for months.
We have both remedy and preventive products in line, so we go at both sides of the line.
So I met you 4 years ago, and you launched your product when?
Our official launch was February 10th of this year, 2017, at the BSI trade show in San Diego, California. Our first big consumer launch was 2 weeks later at the Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic show in Minneapolis, and I'm pleased that some of the folks that worked our booth helped me are here today. So that was a lot of fun. That really got us traction, movement in the market, and started really aligning us with the all-important consumer and what drives them, and their response to what we were offering. We were really encouraged. Had a lot of fun at the show. It was a great show for us.
So Pheasant Fest.
Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic, 30,000 backyard trainers. Last year Minneapolis, this coming year, Sioux Falls. It'll come to Des Moines, probably maybe 2-3 years it's on a rotation. It's a great show. What's best about Pheasant Fest and Quail Classic is the dogs. Everybody brings the dog. The event opens with a pointer parade, literally dog pointers in parade, and that just sets the tone for the whole thing.
Yes, it's interesting because it's about vertical markets. Because when we talked about this, you were talking about bringing us to the market. We had a lot of discussions about how do you enter a market, and you've got this classic marketing world of the early adopter, which would be me when it comes to mobile computers. I'll buy anything brand new that Apple puts out. The day after it comes out, I buy it. If I wait one day. And then there are people that wait and see, and then there's people that, okay, I'll finally, my brother's a laggard. He just got his first ATM card. Kid you not, he owns a very large business, he just got his first ATM card. That's a laggard. So we were talking about early adopters and the mainstream and the laggards when you look at the market. So talk about how you came in, because there's a lot of people with dogs and they all love them. Well, most of them love them.
Well, we had a couple challenges and opportunities at the same time. One of the unique things about our product offering is we make these products with animal blood proteins. And that's a new concept. That's something you need to get your head around. And we knew that in some consumer circles, they may not value or appreciate that as much as others would. So one of the things that drove us in our segmentation, our targeting, and where we're going to bring this product and the messaging behind it is, where are the dogs under the most stress, and who would be most open to the concept of blood in a product, blood proteins in a product. And of course, that led us to performance dogs, which by default then brought us quite cleanly and quickly into the hunting, field trial, hunt test, agility, knock dive, performance world. So we get the best of it there, and they have a pretty rapid appreciation for the fact that blood proteins are there, what they do, they have the problems, they have the needs, they're looking for solutions. We just have to line it up right and do it right and deliver a great product at a great price. And they see quickly that the product works. We can give you testimonials, evidence that in hours sometimes our product shows that. Seeing it, believing it's real, that's a real nice payoff. Our promise is legitimate. So that's our market, the backyard trainer, the folks running with their dogs, agility trialers, hunt test, field trial trainers. That's our goal.
And to give you some magnitude, so my brother's dogs don't do field trials, but he has his dogs professionally trained. And I asked him one day, I said, how much money you got in your dog? The most recent one. Dog's 4 years old, I think, 4 or 5 years old. How much money you got? You could just hear his teeth grind. But it came out above $25,000. What do they got in trials about? How much money?
Well, we have on our team WINPRO, one of the top whistle trainers in the country, Matt and Karen Cashman up in Elko, Minnesota. We were just with them not long ago. Their opening price puppy going out of one of their litters is $25,000 just to buy the puppy.
What's the training cost?
Well, you can see $100,000 invested in a master's level field trial championship dog.
So, when you're thinking about breaking, what's your product retail? What's one?
$29.99, $1 a day, helps keep inflammation at bay.
At first I'm like, do people always spend a fucking day on their dog? And then we start doing this math, I'm like, oh, sure they do. For a $100,000 investment, of course you do. That's nickels, right?
Well, it's the investment in love and affection, wanting that dog to live a long time. We got two windows that matter. In our world, we got a competitive window or a performance window. Maybe it's a hunting window. We want to take that window and make it as broad as we can. So you start in dog hunting, say at 1 year old. We want that dog to hunt successfully, not to 6 years old. We'd rather see it up to 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. And then you've got the life that really we care the most about, and that's how long will this dog live? How long can I love it, nurture it, be part of my family? So we deal with two lives, and we work to extend both and all of you. It's great stuff, and that's what we get up in the morning. We know this is our mission, this is what we're doing.
So back to the blood-based products, it's kind of funny because you have to remind people, some people, dogs are carnivores. By nature, they eat other mammals. So it's not a foreign object in the body, and I think we sometimes get oversensitized to these kinds of things. And so I think that's one of the things, and the trainers get that. And then the other thing is the trainers make recommendations. My brother, if he gets his dog back from the trainer says, put him on this, he's going to put him on that, which I think is kind of fascinating because it takes your market down.
They have a lot of credibility, a lot of relevance, just like a vet does, a trainer does, a breeder does. What they say, people listen to. That's why we recruit the best trainers, the best competitors to Team WINPRO. Because these are our influencers. These are the people wearing the WINPRO black vest. These are the folks winning the trials. These are the folks people listen to. And that's the ambassadors of our brand. The people that give us this reach and relevance that's so important.
So between concept and product in the market, it's not easy to produce a product. Mm-hmm. And you've been through this before, so you have a little bit of a head start. But let's talk through first getting the product produced and then the packaging. Just getting the product into the bag and into distribution. Take us through some of the background on that.
We were twice blessed in this journey because early on, we were introduced to a company in Blissfield, Michigan, Euclid Health and Nutrition. They're one of the oldest animal health and nutrition companies in the country. They also have a very good human health line. They brought us not only a passion for WINPRO and for our science, but a passion for product development. They have a team there in Blissfield that's amongst the best in the world. They have an outside advisor, Jack Rogan, who's recognized as probably the top formulator in the country. We got together early on in Michigan. I shared the concept, the opportunity, our goals, our mission, and they were really on board. They worked with us for over 2 years to develop 4 WINPRO products. We only have 4 because we know we can do a great job in these 4 conditions. Training and recovery, joint mobility, focus and calming, and immunity, keeping that immune system strong, keeping that digestive performance of the dog at peak condition. They worked with us and we developed 4 highly proprietary formulas. Within that mix, there is something special, our Coke syrup. We have a Coke syrup. It's our blend of blood proteins. We call it K-Thrive. K as in dog thrive. That no one knows about. When Euclid gets K-Thrive, they don't know what's in it. It's blended here in Iowa separately. We do that. We ship it to Euclid. That's the silver bullet in each of our products. But they made the matrix work. They brought all the other actives. They helped us with all the animal testing, all the palatability work, all the formulation, because the thing has to stick together and need a certain shelf life. It's got to be palatable. Dogs got to love it. It's got to have a certain texture. There's a lot to accomplish. They were key in that. In my past life at APC, I discovered probably the best packaging solution in the land, and Amy Voss. I was glad to steer to the same people on a little sidekick. Baker Design up in Minneapolis is extraordinarily good. They are very, very expensive. They're probably the most expensive choice out there. But you know what? The last place you want to cheap, cut costs is packaging, especially when you're developing and offering a consumer product.
It's got to sit on the shelf and sell.
A great job in every way. Can't compromise anything. That was a long process. So I've got probably almost 3 years invested in this whole window. And so we know when we went out to the market, we'd have something that would have impact that would fit, work, and do what we asked it to do.
How do people find it? How's the product get to the market?
We're pursuing a multiple channel strategy. Our first channel we opened up was the distributor channel. These are animal health distributors that take products like ours and they put them in different places. Places like independent pet stores, farm and feed stores, and vet clinics. Vets have huge influence. People listen to vets. They're somewhat like God when it comes to animal health. If a vet tells you to do something you love your dog, you're going to listen. So the vet's an important audience for us. Simultaneously, we're looking at places where people go to buy backyard trainer products. There's a lot of websites and places that feature these kinds of products. We want to be there. Our most immediate and most exciting venture, though, is going to see the market in about 10 days. We are launching our very first, with great excitement, e-com site that will allow us to take our message, our products directly to our target user. We're going to offer a very good price, $29.99 a day, $1 a day, and free shipping, and give them the content and information and love that they deserve. And so we'll be looking forward to, I think, a real robust response to that when it debuts in just a little bit. Around that, by the way, you got to bring eyeballs to the site, you got to educate, you got to make people aware. We are going to launch our first pretty aggressive digital marketing campaign throughout the fall hunting season. So they go together.
Yeah, we were talking about this before. This is a really interesting time to be trying to take a product into retail, because retail is in complete pandemonium. I mean, you've got Sears shutting down stores all the time, Kmart shutting down stores, Penny's, you've got other stores going all the way out of business. We just saw Amazon pay crazy money for Whole Foods. You mentioned, who bought Chewy?
PetSmart bought Chewy for $3.5 billion.
Chewy.com, which is an e-commerce site. So, it's funny because usually when you're in three-tier distribution, you don't sell the product yourself. Usually you send it out to distributors who send it out and get it to a store. It's 3 steps. And so the last thing you do is worry about selling yourself. Well, now, it's almost like it's the unknown. You just don't know what's going to work. You'll probably end up on Amazon at some point as well, I would imagine.
We are on Amazon. Now, the good and bad is Amazon has terrific reach. You have 83 million Prime users. The bad thing is you control very little in the Amazon space. That goes along with it, and that can be problematic.
But you don't have a choice. You got to be there. It's the biggest store in the world. You better be at Amazon. Yeah. So let's talk about some things that didn't go as well as you wanted to go. Let's have a little advice, things you learned. I'm curious.
Well,
if you were starting over,
pitching prospective investors was a very challenging endeavor. And I would tell you the best training if I was going to coach a young or even an older entrepreneur and raising money first time, I'd say, okay, here's your training. We do a lot of work with trainers, so here's your training. I'm being the trainer. go find yourself a really sturdy doorway with a really heavy wooden door, and stand right in front of it and have someone slam it about 15 times in your face, and you'll be trained up, ready to go. It was interesting. You know, we went out with a lot of fanfare and excitement, and we started with the angel investor community, and we met a lot of great people. But I will tell you, the Shark Tank has ruined angel investors. All people are Cuban, and it's not that. There's a lot of.
Can we have a show of hands? How many people think that reality TV is real? Okay, then why do you watch Shark Tank? So let me real about it.
Well, anyway, I'm kidding, but
No.
we had some real good experiences, and we had some people step up to say, yeah, we want to fund this. But in our world, you know, to really create a brand and go out and engage the consumer and to work through distribution, our resource commitment that we needed to really kick this off right was much higher than the angel investor group that we were talking to, or even individuals who were willing to reach to. So we had to find a different way, and that's when we began to talk to both strategic investors and venture capital folks. And we ended up, through about 2 years of pitching here and there, everywhere we could, we ended up with a really great partner in the Summit Equity Group here in Des Moines, and they took the full offering in a minority position. And they bring much, much more than capital. They bring a lot of talent, experience, and areas of expertise that we don't have, so we can focus on what we do well. So it's a really great partnership.
I think it's worth stating, 2 years raising capital,
2 years.
and a lot of notes.
Well, all knows.
And then you get the last one, because it's always the last one, well, it takes the whole thing.
Yeah.
Normally it doesn't happen. Normally you get a lead investor, and then other people come in behind the lead. So to actually land the whole deal on spot is when you finally found the right guys. Yeah. We'll open up for questions here, so we're thinking about your questions. What about just building your team? I guess you were a team of one for a long time. You were literally a team of one. You had to take some time off from that. So,
well, one of the smartest things I ever did is listen to the advice that you can't do it all yourself. Even though I want to. You know, I grew up, I was a wrestler, high school and college, so you're all by yourself. I ran 40-some marathons, and you're all by yourself. There's no one to help you. I was doing duathlons, you know, competitive duathlons, and there's no one to help you. So you get this mentality that I can do anything alone, and I'm better alone because somehow I can do it. And you know, I learned pretty quick in this thing that was folly. That was, you know, a path to failure, and I wasn't going to go down that. So I started reaching out to people. Kurt Erwin, I reached out Randy Forberger, and then I had Alicia Herman, who was my best resource at APC, where we used to work together. She left APC and she came and joined me. And we brought Carol Paul over from APC. So we're putting the pieces together as we need them. And we're bringing new resources on for the e-com launch. So as needed, we're staffing accordingly. We're not piling on people because we have to do it intelligently. And we are. We won't do it perfectly.
yeah.
We will not do it perfectly. We're trying to
Anybody
time
ever
it.
do it perfectly?
You know.
Questions?
Yes.
Is most of your marketing through DSM?
Well, now with our new campaign, you know, running through the fall, it'll all be done digitally through social media and through targeted ads and through participation in different associations. And so we hope that it'll help the vet, we hope it'll help the trainer, we hope it'll help anywhere that's selling our products, because we're going to be building awareness with the consumer
So
directly.
what type of stores, or where are you putting your product?
Well, right now we would be in some vet clinics, we would be in some independent pet stores, some farm stores. We would be on Amazon.com. We are for sale on our own site. We're now launching a brand new e-com site, taking a step beyond. But those are places you would find us today. The distribution build to get on store shelves is slow. It takes a lot of time, and we're still engaged in it.
Okay, you have to pay slot fees and free.
We have not, and thankfully it's not the grocery business yet. However, that said, Mill Sleep Farm and Bass Pro Shop are now owned by venture capital companies, and they are beginning to play the various sorts of games you're discussing there or describing. Slotting fees, a lot of other charges to do business with them, but
Yeah, especially like the Bass Pro, we can get into these experience stores where you walk into the store and you think all the millions of dollars were spent. It doesn't have anything to do with selling the next product. It's an experience. It's the bar, it's the restaurant, it's all the displays. That's how they're paying for it. So, which is unfortunate, but
It is. We're blessed for the most part that that has not crept into our industry yet.
yeah.
So this is a kind of technical question. So one word answer on this one, is the product a liquid or a powder?
Oh, sorry, that's a great question. I should have certainly shared that early on. It's a soft chew,
Okay, it's a
soft chew treat. If we dose the animal, that is our carrier, that's our delivery system.
Okay.
If we don't get into the gut of the animal, we have no effect. So we have to get in the gut. We do have a very palatable treat, soft chew treat. 2 a day for a regular sized dog and 1 a day for a small dog.
And then what kind of blood, whose blood do you use? And, or what animal's blood do you use? And I'm guessing you do some sort of molecular process to the blood? Or you isolate or?
Yeah, we answer it in sequence. The blood that we use is all porcine, all collected from processing plants, USDA inspected processing plants in the Midwest. The blood is captured at the site of slaughter. It's very, very hygienic. It's immediately put into refrigerated stainless steel tanks. On site, and the blood is centrifuged, which means it's spun. Most of the water is removed from the blood. It then goes to further processing facilities where the blood is fractionated and broken up into different components, each with different characteristics and value. It is then spray dried, and we buy the components in the spray dried form. We blend them in a dry powder called K-Thrive, ships to Michigan, put into their systems with all of the other actives and their ingredients, and we form in soft chew treats. They look like little Tootsie Rolls. I'm sorry I didn't bring them up.
So just a follow-up, so you're not actually doing, you're just using the blood and adding supplements. You're not actually changing the molecular, or pulling a protein, extracting a protein or anything.
We are through the fractionation process.
You are.
You're gonna get into this cook recipes pretty soon. It's gonna take.
Yeah.
And it's
Shut the camera off
done
for a
through
while.
reverse osmosis and filtration in different particle sizes. We
Okay.
act different.
No, it's a really good point. So if you patented all this, the problem is, as soon as patent issues, everybody knows who's done it.
Right.
But if you keep it trade secret and control that mix, and only a few people, you said you guys do it yourself, or you have someone who does it with you, it's really hard to duplicate because it's not
Right.
what's in it, it's how. AccuMold and Ankeny does the same thing. Their molding systems is they're not patenting what it is that makes them so good at molding really, really tiny parts. Those are trade secrets, which means they can stay there forever. A question back here?
So that's a commodity, and obviously the price moves and is fluid. So how do you do pricing, or how do you determine that? Do you
Well-
change that?
I don't know that commodity is quite appropriate. Perhaps on the blood plasma component would be, because it is sold by multiple entities and you have different grades and different types and sources. But there are others. There's serum, there's IgG, there's IgA, there's albumin. Pricing can vary from $1.60 a pound for low-grade plasma to $40-some a pound for high-quality IgA. And it's not just knowing what brings what, it's I've got to dose to the size of an animal's gut. And I have to also think about economy and affordability. So the idea is to blend in a way that optimizes your delivery of IgG per gram of cost, size and dose to the gut of a specific animal.
So do you buy it on contract long term, or are you on the spot market?
We buy spot. We have one very good supplier that does exceptionally good job in a couple of carriers I can't discuss
No.
openly.
That's fine.
Because the grade and quality varies significantly, and there's certain things you really have to watch for. You don't want in the product, but you have to know what those are.
And a question back there first.
Yeah, you-
Go ahead.
Yeah, so you mentioned that you have the trade secret, but you have proprietary, so are you patenting anything, any aspect of it?
No, there's been over 300 studies published worldwide, university studies showing the efficacy of various animal blood proteins. So there was really no way of achieving any patents. We looked at the same thing at APC, but there's so much published. The concept of science behind fractionation and spray drying of animal blood proteins, there's nothing there. We could pursue perhaps a patent on our particular blend, However, it's a very long, extensive process, and we felt just establishing a trade secret and keeping it proprietary under a trademarked term, K-Thrive, was an easier, better way for us to go.
Yeah, it's interesting because it benefits in launch to have all these studies that have been publicly done, because when somebody says, well, prove it works, it's like, well, I can send you a document with all the link studies, and every one of those studies is, you know, there's thousands of pages of clinical study done, so this stuff works. And so it's an advantage there, but it's the challenge with patenting, is even if you have a patent, the problem with patents, in my last company, we had over 800 patents. And someone would come to our door and say, well, you're violating my patent on this kind of barcode scanning. And the short versions we go, okay, just for the sake of discussion, let's say we are. We did a little research, you're violating 11 of our patents. What do you want to do? So in other words, it becomes this whole offense-defense game. And one patent, even 3 patents, may not get you anywhere. When we went into the RFID space, we ended up with over 200 patents through acquisition, just so we could have the dominant position so we could box everybody out. So if you're going to go to a market where patents matter, you either have to be the biggest, meanest person on the block, or you're probably going to be in a tougher position if you're trying to live off your patents. You had a question over there.
Yeah, so what sort of regulatory hoops did you have to jump through with that animal? Is there an FDA for?
It's a great question. Yeah, and that was really important to us to do it the right way. So very early on, we decided to become a member of the National Animal Supplement Council, the NASC. That operates under the jurisdiction of the FDA, and that's our regulatory role over animal supplements. And Bill Bookout, the founder of the NASC, is a very good friend and a great advisor. Way back in the very, very beginning, we went to Bill with the concept, and he's been a great partner and a big champion and help. He's guided us, taken our hand through the entire process, and we are an NASC approved product. We will always be made in an NASC approved facility. We don't yet show the NASC quality seal because we haven't completed their audit, but we will. And they're great. They defend us. They not only tell us how to do things the right way, but they also defend us. They're challenged by other regulatory bodies, which they already have. But you know, playing it the right way is everything. When I was at APC, I worked primarily in marketing. I had never worked on product development. They didn't give us access to formulas. I walked away with nothing. But the answer is just where Mike was at a minute ago. It's all out there. There's over 300 studies. You can learn everything you need to learn to create a product like this that you want to learn, study it, and look at it and link it up. It just takes a lot of time. Yes.
So talk about the impact of clinical trials and how they move the product through and can help.
Trials are key. And, you know, this whole science began at Iowa State University back in the early 1980s in very formal trials using weaning piglets. The revolution of blood proteins started in the swine industry at Iowa State. Weaning piglets suffer through more stress and hardship than any animal on the planet. And the mortality rates were high, 15, 18%. Through research at Iowa State, through clinical trials, they found that these animal blood proteins, once introduced into the ration of a piglet in a pig starter diet, dramatically reduced the incidence of mortality and morbidity within the pigs. That quickly then spread into dairy calf products, from there into beef calves, lamb, kid, goat followed, then horses. We were part of the performance horse revolution at APC. Now is the year of the dog. It's the next evolution. Trials, we do trials ourselves.
Yeah, well, I'm back here.
Yeah, you mentioned you had like 4 variations.
4 products.
Yeah, 4 products. So also, I guess kind of piggybacking off that is you mentioned like there's benefits sometimes seen quickly. Like what are, first of all, could you name what that kind of looks like?
Sure.
Benefits. And then just kind of follow up by, I have a dog and he's torn both his ACLs. And so like, is there like something specific towards, you know, either looking forward to whether it's arthritis because he has a TPLO surgery disease, or what other kind of, because he's not even 3 yet, and so, you know, what is his long-term life
You got a lot of questions in there.
Yeah, sorry.
Let's start with.
You know what's cool about that line of question, it all points to the same product and the same answer, and I think I can do it. Our best selling product is our mobility, our joint health product. It's in a green package. It's #1 seller. And where we see typically the fastest visual evidence or response that it's working. We tell people as soon as you see limping hip or any kind of issue, get it with WINPRO. In fact, we tell people if you've had this, let's double the dose, at least 2 or 3 days before we go back to normal. So in your case, you come and you tell me that story, I say, okay, let's try this. We got nothing to lose, let's try this. Here's mobility. I want you to double dose 3 days in a row, 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon. Give me 3 days of that, and then go to a single dose, 2 a day. I would be surprised if you didn't see something. Now, am I going to reverse that condition? I don't know. I can't see inside that joint capsule. If it's chronic, that's tough. Chronic's tough. Diseases, I can't cure disease. It all depends. But I would tell you, we are seeing some pretty dramatic stories, and most of our testimonials are around the joint product. And you'd say, wow, that's pretty amazing.
And you're going to see it in a few days, a week, plus. See improvement. How soon?
Oh, we've had 2 days, maybe a week. I have a gentleman from St. Louis that took his dog 3 weeks to show. Again, I don't know how long the condition's been going on, how chronic it is, what really is going on, but if it's an inflammatory condition or outcome, I think we can probably impact it. Give it a shot.
Market share for that kind of a treat, what kind of a,
Well, right now, we have 100% market share.
you got no competition?
We're the only guy who's out there, yeah.
But what's the larger market?
Yeah, what's a
Well,
entry market?
The last research I saw on functional dog treats, that would include dental and digestive and joint, a lot of glucosamine, carotid plays. $1.4 billion would be $1.4 to $1.6 billion in the U.S. It's hard to measure, though. I won't lie to you; those are best guesses.
Dynamite, is that a competitor? Or?
Don't know that, sir. Sorry.
I've just heard that advertised on the radio.
We follow Rimadyl a lot. Rimadyl is a script product vets give. Rimadyl works. It's a steroidal path. It helps reduce inflammation and pain. The problem with Rimadyl is it has a really bad set of side effects. It can be very degenerative in a joint. So a lot of folks want to get their dog off of Rimadyl. So we are oftentimes brought in behind it, and we've had really good success there. That's why, again, sir, in the back, I would love to get you some product, or you can order it on our website, help us out a little bit.
The world of e-commerce.
And then get my card, and then call me and tell me how good it's working when you see it work.
The email will be in your inbox before we're done. I love this world. Yeah.
I give my dog, I call it doggy profen. I'm not sure what the name is, but it's like a ibuprofen, which I don't want to comment about necessarily, but you might have mentioned that dogs are meat eaters, and many human beings are meat eaters too. Has there ever been any research or consideration for doing this for humans?
Oh yeah, there's a company, you can Google it now. When I was at APC, my sister company was known as Intera Health. And Intera Health is 100% focused on human products, and they are really amazing in what they do. They are working with very, very serious HIV and Crohn's disease cases, and that was all done through trials, through clinical trials at a very, very high expense, multi-million-dollar trials. It is a script product. A doctor has to prescribe it. It's a $300 a month solution. But Interrogam has proven it works. It's a great product, and it's offered by Interrogam, which is, Intera Health, the product's Interrogam. And it's in a powder you have to drink and you can drink it. And people will tell you that have taken that product and are on it. I saw testimonials. You think about someone with HIV or Crohn's or really serious digestive issues, they have no life. Here's how they live their life, real quick. I would come into this building, and every step, every thought, I'd be planning how many steps am I away from the bathroom. Wherever I go, how far am I from the bathroom? They told the folks at Intera after this Interrogam was used, after they were taking it, you've given us my life back. You gave me my life back. That's how powerful. Same exact same thing.
So why hasn't anybody done this for dogs before you?
I don't have an answer. We just chalked it up as our good fortune. But it doesn't.
Somebody had to be first.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of.
Well, you tried to get your company to do that, and that's why you left, right?
Well, we did try to go in there and there was some issues. And we were looking at partnering with Hormel and that wasn't a very good experience. So it wasn't in the cards there. So although Randy, I actually left to do a food company first, ended up in dogs. And glad I did.
It is a classic thing to hear, though, about a large company that's in the market, really focuses on markets. And by the way, it's good to focus. There's really good. But then you have people say, well, we could do this. And the company says, no, our focus is over here. It's where our board wants to go. And by the way, you do what your board says or you leave. And so people leave and go do that. And don't be surprised if some company that was saying, no, later buys this and goes back in. In fact, well, Cisco is very well known throughout the 90s for doing this. They encouraged, if you had a really cool idea that was on their main product now, go do a startup, we'll give you some seed money. And if it works out, we'll buy your company. And I think Cisco, last I saw, was over almost 900 acquisitions. Because they built this global sales and marketing team around internet, Ethernet products and wireless products, and said, no, they just take your product, put their brand out and sell it globally. That was their power. The power was not building the product.
Yeah. So how did you end up making the ultimate decision on who you were going to have as investors? And so you mentioned some of equity, and how did you say yes to them versus yes to someone else? Or are they the only ones who really wanted to go?
No, we ended up having a 2-horse race. Ironically, after all the door slamming, we actually had a couple of folks emerge, both venture groups, both showed a lot of interest. It came down to gut, cultural fit, trust, interpersonal dynamics, and how they went at it, and what their philosophies were. A lot of it was philosophy. Did they have the right philosophy? What I liked about Summit, I liked a lot about them. I'll never thank Randy enough, Randy Forberger, for introducing me. I liked them because they told me this: we don't have any perceived strategy. We're not under some plan. You're not under pressure to gen sales, and we're going to flip this thing in 2 years or 3 years or 4. Let's just go out and build the best brand, the best company, the best success story we can. We'll just see where we end up.
I think there's something to be said there, because you really, when you take an investor, you want to know what their angle is and what motivates them. So people ask me, what's their venture capital and angel investing? Other than a lot of, how far and how big and how far along. If I'm an angel investor and I invest in Jennifer's company, it's mostly because I believe in a company, what she's trying to do, and I believe, yes, there'll be an exit someday, but my emotions rule. My emotions are the deciding factor. It's not just simply do we hit a number now. If I'm running a venture fund and I'm taking all you people's money into this fund and I'm responsible for you for a return, I will sell Jennifer's company for the highest price I can give as fast as possible. They've been called every nasty word in the book as venture capitalists. There's all kinds of stories about it, but that's their job. And so when you take venture capital money, you have to read the prospectus of their fund and understand what they're being paid to do. Because if they don't do that well, they get fired, they don't have a job, and most of their earnings are tied up in how well does the fund do. The fund manager doesn't get paid a lot to manage the fund, they get paid if they win. So just knowing that. And the other thing I would say is, I don't know how many of you saw Ben Milne speak at DSM, but he talked about the value of investors being employees that pay to work for you. So you want investors that not only put money in the company, but want to come in there and help. And so you want to find those people you trust and you want to actually work with and spend time each week or month with. Money by itself is just an accelerator, but it doesn't mean you're going to go somewhere good. It can take you somewhere bad just as fast as it can take you somewhere good. Another question over here.
Yeah, question. So, can you talk about you have sponsors or you have brand, ambassadors?
WINPRO. Yes.
Right. So, if I was in a competitive arena, I would imagine that I would want to withhold any competitive advantage. Did you run into that at all?
We do, and here's how that works. We did certainly have that, especially around one guy who was just awarded for the second year in a row Korean Dog of the Year. He's one of our best guys and just kicks butt. He does have that philosophy. However, then he'll also say, if you listen carefully, oh, but there's some guys I do want to know about this and friends. He's got his circle. and then they got a circle, then the other one has a circle. So while they are somewhat protective sometimes of the competitive edge, they also just are guided to a few special people, and that's how it gets around. Some of them don't have that vibe, they just want to share with the world. Laura Miller is one of those who's from Scotland, one of our best people. She just wants to tell the world how great it works, so that's a good question.
And in a social media world, that's what matters.
Yeah.
You can't buy ads anymore to make a difference.
Do you have any plans to go beyond social media for advertising?
Absolutely. We've got, anybody in here see the television show The Flush? Flush on Sheriff? The Flush is on the Outdoor Network. It's viewed by 2.8 million hunters a week. It's a great TV program, and in every episode they feature a magnificent dog. The dog is the focus of the episode. And they're out hunting. It's upland game, it's pheasant, it's quail, it's partridge, it's that world of perch. And we have been invited to participate, and we're looking at a proposal. We haven't pulled the trigger on it, but it's really tempting. It's really tempting. Why I love TV is they're going to give us multiple airings per week and a lot of promotion around it. You can see the dog in motion. We can bring Team WINPRO people into the episode and really show the product, talk about it, and it's visual, it's moving, it's sound. I really like that.
It lives a long time too.
Yeah. And we get programming, spots another programming they control for the outdoor enthusiasts. So.
And I think what's important about it is it's a very focused channel.
Very.
Most of the people watching that show want to watch the show. They seek it out. It's not, oh, I searched and found this thing. And it's people that are directly determined. People watching aren't buyers. So I mean, when you think about advertising, I watching a football game and Chevrolet advertise a truck, I mean, what a crapshoot. How many people, you don't know. The demographics say it's a lot of guys, quote unquote, a lot of people can buy cars, but you really don't know. You get into those kinds of programs, kind of like some of the automotive programming that's out there here. In cars, there's all kinds of very specific J. Lennon's Garage, the Haggerty series. Everybody watches it because they're passionate about cars. They're buyers. So as an ad spend, it makes much more sense, but it's not cheap.
No, it isn't. Although the best buys, I think, are some of the vertical print books, like Retriever News, American Standard for the pointer world, Gun Dog Magazine. Incredibly good editorial, great photography, Orvis quality stuff. And then you can buy a half-page ad for $300.
Wow, that's cheap.
And you reach a great audience. That's our audience. So we have to do all. I mean, it's just not digital. I'm only digital. But that's a key piece of it.
Well, and I think as you're building those out, if you think about it, when you're doing these campaigns, it's taking over time. You have to pick the most likely buyer to begin and the most influential buyer. So if you start with the trainers because they're going to do the referral, your return on investment's higher. If you get a trainer to love it, because she's going to keep telling all these other people who use this with your dog, versus the end buyer is good for 1 bag, 2 bags a month. So you also have to think about leveraging the dollar spend. That early market, if you can influence a part of the market for the same dollar spend, near the same dollar spend, you're getting a lot better return.
Sounded to me like your huge market though is going to be in this joint thing because everybody's pet eventually is going to have that problem if they live long.
Yes, sir, you're correct. And over 60% of all of the supplements sold in pet are joint products.
So that's something that could be done on a huge scale basis eventually if you can generate the momentum to sustain it.
Yep. I'm leaving tomorrow for 2 days. I'm going to meet with 3 trainers, Minnesota and Iowa, the next 2 days. And we'll be talking a lot about the joint product because they have a lot of problems with foals and pups and 1-year-old fighters because they run them hard. See, a dog doesn't know when to quit. A dog is genetically programmed to go hard every minute of every day. And that's where dogs get in trouble, especially around joint issues because they just run themselves into injury after injury after injury and they can't back off unless you're hurt. So that's what we need to be.
Other questions?
I want to thank you. What a great group. What a great bunch of questions. I love seeing friends, people that came down. This is our world. The dog is it. It's all about the dog.
We couldn't tell by the dog in your back. Team WINPRO. Bill, thank you for coming. You gonna be able to stick around for a few minutes? All right. Well, thank you, Bill.